Hey, what's up? It's your girl Shy here, and today is the last installment of my PHP videos. Number one, yes, I am filming with my glasses off. I just wanted you guys to be able to appreciate this makeup that I did for this video. Can't really see it behind the glasses. Like, you can tell that I'm wearing makeup, but you can't really, see the full effect, So, but I am gonna have to be reading notes, so I probably will have to keep my glasses on. No, I won't. I'll take them off. I'm nearsighted. I don't need glasses to read. Today is the last video of my PHP installment, and what's gonna happen after this is I'm still gonna be uploading. I am trying my hardest to keep posting content, but it just won't be PHP related. But there will definitely be mental health videos and mental health things that will be sprinkled throughout my other videos. I plan to do Vlogmas this year, so every week in December I'm going to be posting a video. I'm not sure what day, but every week in December I will be posting a video. I am actually recording this on December 1st, so today is the first day of Vlogmas. I've already started recording a little bit of my day, but yeah, we're gonna get started on this video now, and let's just go for it. So this is the What I Learned in PHP video, and I want to give a quick disclaimer that while this is what I learned in PHP, none of this may work for you, okay? These are only things that work for me. Things may work for you, none of them may work for you or may interest you, okay? Now, I'm just saying this because mental illness is not one size fits all. It is more of a self put together plan that works for you, that helps you maintain what you think is mentally healthy for you. So these are just tips that I learned in PHP that help me maintain my mental health, and I want to share them with you guys and see what you guys can get out of this video. So let's get started. First things first is recap of what PHP is. So PHP stands for Partial Hospitalization Program, and that is like a step down from being an inpatient at a psych ward. So what I did was I went to a program every day except for the weekends, and every day we would have groups and we would sit and talk about topics that would help us control our mental health and help us gain control of our mental health. And there were a couple other people in the groups with me, and everybody had their own mental health issues that they didn't know. Everybody had their own mental health issues that they did not know how to cope with. So we all went to go get help, and I commend everybody for going to things like that and going to therapy. Please do what you think is best for your mental health, no matter what other people think. So yeah, I went to PHP, and it was a life-altering experience for me because of what it taught me and how I am now. And so let's talk about how I was before PHP. I was hopeless. I was helpless. I didn't think anything was going to help me. Now, this is not for anybody to feel bad. I don't want anybody to message me feeling bad about this. I don't want anybody to be like, why didn't you talk to me? Because that's just not how it works. Sometimes it's just easier to talk to certain people, and it's easier to go through things your own way. Not everybody wants to share everything with everybody. So if I did not share my struggle with you, it's not because I don't care for you and don't love you. It's just that what's going on is not your business right now. If it got to a point where it was too bad, then it would definitely be everybody's business, because everybody would need to know what was going on with me. However, I did not feel the need to tell everybody what was going on with me. And so I just don't want you guys to feel bad that if I didn't talk to you. It's not because I don't trust you. It's just because there are people who I trust more, or there are people who I felt more comfortable to talk to. And that's not saying that I'm not comfortable talking to you. It's a very thin line, and you cannot feel a type of way when it comes to somebody else's mental health. It's not about you. And that's what I'm trying to say, in the nicest way possible. Yeah, back to how I felt before PHP. I was hopeless. I didn't know really what to do. I thought that coping mechanisms were just band-aids for a bigger problem. I thought that life was just hard and it shouldn't have to be that hard, and that things could be easier. So, how I feel now is that yes, life is hard and it sucks. It sucks big time that life is hard. But taking your time to think about how hard life is not helpful, because it's going to be hard no matter what. There are things that will stress us out every single day. There is something every day that you will worry about. I already know it. Even if you're having the best day possible, there's something that you end up worrying about that day, because you want that day to be perfect. You want every day to be going well, and you want everything to work. And so you're going to worry. And so how I'm feeling now is worrying about worrying is not helpful. And I think that was what I was doing too much, is worrying about the fact that I was worrying all the time. Whereas now I worry about specific things, but I don't let the worry overcome me. At least I'm trying. Now, this is not to say that I am cured. Once again, let me just reiterate, I've said this in other videos. I am not cured. PHP does not cure you. It just gives you the steps to help manage what you have. And I personally don't see a cure. I see good management. I see being able to manage everything to a point where it's at a base level and you can do what you need to do without worrying about your symptoms coming up. That's what I think a cure is. Now, you may have a different thought process about it, and that is your process. I am not here to take that away from you. This is just personally how I feel about cures and mental health. Now, that's not to say if you feel like you're cured, more power to you. I am proud of you. But I just personally don't see curing as an option. I see management as an option. That's just me. And that's how I feel now, because before I was just looking for a cure. I just wanted it to go away. And now it's like I just want to be able to deal with it, So I'm going to go through a couple key points of things that I learned in PHP with you guys. And I hope that you guys will get something out of this and maybe see certain things in life differently. And I hope that that's what happens, because that's what they teach you in PHP, is they teach you how to rework your thoughts so that life works for you, and they teach you how to cope with what you have. So the main thing that I want you guys to get out of this is, if you don't have any sort of mental illness, if you don't think that you have anything that you need to cope with, I want you guys to at least get a different way of viewing life. Like, if you don't get anything out of this, just getting a different way to think, okay? So the key points I have is, the first thing is for anybody with any kind of illness. It can be mental, it can be physical, but know your medications, okay? Know them and know why you take what you take, because doctors give many different medications for many different reasons, and medications like to combat each other. And so if you see one doctor and they give you one pill, and you see another doctor and they give you another pill, not knowing that you were on the first pill and the pill that they gave you combats the first pill, then you're back to like square one. I would say definitely know your medications and know why you're taking them, okay? It's very important. Like, have a list written down. That's what I got from PHP, is a perfect, like, organized list of what I have, the dosage, why I take it, when I take it, stuff like that. It's very important to keep this stuff on hand, okay? Now, the next thing I learned was something about stress. There's a thing called toxic stress, where it overcomes you and you just let it eat you up. But there's good stress, where it's like, oh, you just got a new job, or oh, you're going to have a baby, things like that, where you're excited about it. So when it comes to stress, stress is normal. It is something that we all have to deal with. So we have to treat it as such, which means that all stress you come across, you treat it like good stress. You treat it like you're just about to have a baby, or you treat it like you just got a new car and you have to pay the insurance. Stuff like that. It's good stress because you're living. And I know stress sucks and it's awful sometimes, and sometimes you really can't stop thinking about it. But if you just take a moment to think, okay, well, I'm stressing, so that's kind of a good thing because that means I care about this thing. And hopefully, this thing will get done with perfect care because I am stressing about it. You just have to think that way rather than, oh my God, I can't believe I'm stressing about this. Like, this is the worst thing in the entire world. I am stressing so hard. Oh my gosh, stress, stress, stress. Think of it more like, oh, I'm stressing. That means I'm living. Also, I learned to deal with stress head on. Do not let it drag out, because if you let it drag out, it gets more and more stressful. So you deal with the hard stress when you need to, and then you're good for the rest of time. Like, you don't have to think about that stress anymore because you took care of it. And I am still learning that. That is still a hard lesson for me, but it is a very important lesson to learn. Boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. This is a lesson that I'm still learning, but it's a lesson that I needed to learn. And boundaries it's about what you need, and you know what's best for yourself. So you know what you need from other people around you, and you know what you don't need from other people around you. So if people around you aren't respecting that, it's okay for you to say, hey, you're not respecting my boundaries. I'm not okay with this. Please fix that, or I cannot keep being around you. That's something I've had to learn very hard, very hard. And I'm still learning it, but boundaries are very important for your mental health, because if you keep letting people push past your boundaries, you're going to have to keep compensating and compensating and compensating. And then once you've compensated so hard that your brain is just tired, that's when you burn out. And to prevent yourself from burning out, you have to put boundaries so that other people can benefit from you as well. Because if you don't set up boundaries and you're burnt out, how are you supposed to help other people anyway? Right? Another small tidbit is I learned about candle watching. It was just a fleeting thought in PHP when we were talking about things to do to cope. And I really like the idea of candle watching because I like fire. That's kind of weird. I just really like fire, and fire is very interesting to watch because it's almost like a living thing. So watching it just flicker is very interesting. And if you're in an anxious moment and you just take the time to just watch a nice candle and let your mind clear for a second, I think that that's worth taking the time to do. And I've done it a couple times. It's very relaxing. It's not to say that it's going to take you out of the worst panic attack, but it'll take you out of some of those small moments. At least it took me out of some of those small moments. Ooh, a big thing that I learned is coping is needed. You need to cope. I thought that coping mechanisms like drawing and watching TV and doing puzzles, stuff like that, was just mundane, and you can't use that to cope because it's just putting a band-aid on whatever anxiety you're feeling. But at the same time, you're working through it while you're working through coloring, because you're letting your mind clear. And once your mind is clear, you can come back to whatever you were worrying about in a new fashion. And it may not work for you, like coloring may not work for you, but you can do other things. Like right now, I'm coping by recording because a lot of times I don't know what to do with myself during the day. So I just like to do things. And so right now I'm recording, and that's going to pass some time in my day, which is going to be really great. So I'm doing that, and that's going well for me, obviously. So just trying to cope with what you have is very big, because when you cope, things start to feel less hard and things start to feel a little bit easier because you're doing things that you enjoy. And sometimes you really don't feel like doing those things that you enjoy, but if you just really push through, you'll see results. and I've seen results. So that's not just me blowing smoke. I have done the same thing. Forgiveness is more for the self. That's kind of self-explanatory, but I'm going to explain it a little bit. Forgiveness is more for you. So while one person may be wanting your forgiveness, it's about whether you are ready to let go or not. And usually you should be, because holding on to grudges is not good. So trying to forgive is not forgetting, but it's letting it go and it's moving on, and it's more for yourself. So you forgive when you're ready, not when the person is ready to be forgiven. Oh, this is one of my favorite things that I've learned in PHP. It's called wear it like a badge. So I wrote, all your wounds and scars taught you something. No shame, embrace it. So pretty much that means that what it says, all the things you've been through have taught you something new and have put you in a better position to be who you are today. So this lady on a video said, I would rather have people on my team who have gone through things, because that means they learned things, rather than somebody who's gone through nothing and don't know much, right? So if they don't know much, then they're not going to be as much help for you, and things aren't going to go as smoothly. Whereas if you have people who have gone through things, then you're batting a lot better than you would with people who haven't, because people who go through things know a lot more because they've been through a lot more. And I love that. And it's like, wear those things like a badge. Don't be shamed by what you've been through. Wear it like a badge, because you have come out of that, or are coming out of that, and have learned and are learning something new because of it. And I'm like, damn, that's powerful. Deliberate worry. That is another thing that I learned about. This is something that they said that would help with going to sleep at night. If you're anxious at night all the time, it's probably because you have worried less throughout the day. You've tried to push that anxiety out of your brain all day, and then when you get to nighttime, it's like you're slowing down and that anxiety comes right back to you, right? So that's kind of what has been happening to me a lot. Is I will just try to keep busy, and then at night it's like, okay, I have to slow down, but now I feel super worried and I feel super anxious and super shaky. So this one video said, worry deliberately. So take one time in the day where you just worry about things. You write down everything that you need to get done, everything that you're worrying about. You prioritize that list. You do what you need to do for things that you can do right now. And then you put off the rest of the list until you can get to it. And you know that you can get to it later. So you have no reason to stress about it now. It's no point stressing about it now if you cannot do anything about it right away. So I was like, that's brilliant. I love that. That's high key a great thing to do. I haven't practiced it yet, just because I haven't had that moment at night where I'm worried about everything. But I think that that could work very well. So I might just start implementing that into my schedule. It's just like a worry moment where you just take some time, you figure out what you're stressed about, and you get shit done. Very simple. Don't carry the weight of unresponded loyalty. If you are giving somebody so much loyalty and they are continuously showing you that they are not appreciative of that loyalty, or they completely show you somehow that your loyalty is just a number, don't keep giving them loyalty. It's just that simple. If your loyalty is being treated like trash, don't keep giving your loyalty. That's something that I've had to learn. I thought that maybe if I keep trying, things will get better. But no, baby girl, just let it go and let the other people grow. If they grow and they come back to you and they've proven that they've grown, then by all means, you can go back to that. But if they're still doing the same things, then don't do the same things to them. Radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is something that I already did before PHP, but now I have a name for it. And it's accepting whatever situation you're in, just taking it as it is. And that is so hard sometimes, but it's really, really nice to look at things from the outside and look at it logically and take the emotion completely out of it. And then it's like, wow, this really isn't as big of a deal as I thought it was. So take forgetting your homework, right? You're like, ah, shoot, I forgot my homework. Probably going to get a 0 on this. Everything is awful. Whereas you can just be like, okay, I forgot my homework. Now I know where to put my homework when I'm finished with it, right in my backpack so I don't forget it again. This happened. I know I'm going to get a 0. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is, and I cannot change it. And that's just kind of how you have to think about things. It's just cut and dry, and then you can work through it easier. At least for me. Now, the last few things that I want to talk about is being mindful. Being mindful is something that I learned, and it is just helped me so well with just everyday life. Being mindful is, I don't know, it's just the key for me. My nose itches so bad. The first thing I learned was mindful listening, and that is really listening to the inflections that people are using, the way that they're talking, their mannerisms, the way their face moves, stuff like that. It's very, very good to use mindful listening to really engage and actually understand what people are saying instead of thinking about your response to what they're going to say. You really, really focus on what they're saying, and it gives you a little bit more of what's coming from them, and you can understand a little bit more of what's coming from them if you're really mindfully listening instead of sitting back and thinking about what you're going to say as they're speaking. So I really liked that. Now, mindfulness in general, I put self-talk and countering anxiety. These are just the things that I am using mindfulness for that I think are what I really learned from PHP. So self-talk is negative self-talk. So if you're negatively talking about yourself, use your mindfulness to realize what you're saying and what is true and what isn't true. So if I'm saying like, oh my God, I'm a terrible person, I'm a burden, this and that, you really have to use mindfulness to think, okay, am I really a terrible person, or am I just feeling that way because I'm asking for something? And then you can work through what you're feeling. I love this method. I think it's brilliant to mindfully think about things, to really listen to what you're saying and break it down to facts, and then put it back together with the facts and be like, oh, I'm tripping. It's beautiful. And so I think that that is the biggest lesson I learned in PHP, was being mindful. Taking a second, letting everything settle, and then coming back, you know? So it's really nice that I went to PHP and I learned all of these great tools. And I hope that this gave you guys some insight on a couple of things to do when you're feeling kind of low or you're feeling kind of negative and things like that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this PHP series, and I hope you guys got something out of the whole series. And I hope to see you guys in my Vlogmas videos. Those should be fun, and I'll have a couple mindful moments in there as well. So yeah, there are going to be a couple videos coming after this one, and I hope you guys enjoy those. I don't know what I'm saying. So yeah, if you're thinking of going to PHP, definitely do it. I highly recommend doing any kind of therapy. Any kind of therapy is just so good because you are really taking the time to doctor your brain. Your brain is what functions you. And I think it's beautiful to take care of it. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now, and I will see you guys in my next video. And until next time, it's your girl Shy, signing off.